let the record reflect that Brian showed discretion in class, and yeah, we'll just leave it there.
It's Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Episode 027, if you're keeping score. You are about to go down the rabbit hole with Joe and Brian. I'm Brian. With me, as always, my good friend Joe. Joe, how the hell are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Doing okay.
Of course you are.
Yes. the election has come and kind of gone, and the world goes on. So
yeah, we can't say in good conscience that it's come and gone because it's kind of lingering.
Yeah, it's kind of hanging around. It's like pretty soon it's gonna be like one of those house guests that overstays its welcome, you know.
Yeah, I could say that. I think a lot of people were counting, or I think a lot of people were to the point where they almost didn't care who won; they just wanted it over.
Yeah, yeah. We got some more to say about that later on. But what?
Oh yeah. It's just funny how, yeah. But hey, go on. We're professionals here.
Are we now? I play one on the internet sometimes. Yeah. So my this there says that we got to talk about drinks next. So is that professional of me?
Well,
all right.
Have that conversation offline.
Motherfucker, bring me 2 fingers of Tito's.
2 fingers of Tito's? Holy crap, like a champ.
Tito's.
So is that what you're having?
No. That's just what I had earlier. That's not what I'm having now.
Now, when you say earlier, how much earlier?
No, just like 15 minutes ago, and then 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, like 15. Wait a second.
Yeah. I've had a couple shots, but you know, I want to give this beer some fortification.
Yeah, like a running head start.
Exactly.
And what beer are you drinking?
Well, if you recall from last week, I said that how I just went into Party Town and
six beers, but 5 unique
yeah, exactly. And so, and I chose them just by the coolness or the attractiveness or something to attract me to the can design.
Yeah, the aesthetics. So, now, quick question.
Yeah.
So you got 6 cans. Mm-hmm. Were the beers that you got that were the same? Were the pictures different?
No.
Wow.
What?
I was holding out hope for you, man.
Well, here's what happened. I looked at 2 sides of the same can.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was a really attractive packaging on both sides. Had a compelling picture enough to make you put in your
yeah.
Somebody should shake their hand. Now, seeing as how you chose this beer based on the can, you probably should describe it to us.
Yeah, this one here. This is from a place called Left Hand Brewery. Since I'm recording in the dark, I can't really read if it says where they're out of.
I just assumed Colorado, but
that's for some reason Colorado jumps into my mind as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're drinking a beer named Left-Handed anything.
Well,
yeah,
reaching across the aisle. Anyway, this is an Oktoberfest beer.
Hmm.
It's and it's got this picture. It looks like of a white tiger. Yeah. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and put it up. But yeah, I don't know. It's a cool looking can. I like Oktoberfest beers when they're done right, which typically means when they're brewed in Germany. No. There's a few good American Oktoberfests, but
Now, you said something that caught my attention. You said Oktoberfest beers, and so is there something peculiar or special about beers that are made for Oktoberfest? Do they have like a certain characteristic that's distinct from everything else?
they kind of do. They're lagers, so that's nothing really. That's not necessarily anything different, but yeah, I don't know. In October, yeah, I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you that there is a difference. Oktoberfest beers do kind of have their own
like flavor
profile. Yeah, exactly.
I'll have to look that up for another day someday.
I gotta say, for this smells good. That's pretty tasty, actually. I kind of like that.
Tastes like a beer should.
It does. I do. It surprised me for a craft beer that yeah, they kind of nailed this one. This is pretty good.
Is it hyper hoppy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
No, it tastes like a lager should taste.
I think left-handed beer. It looks like you got a new fan.
Yeah, I may have to look you up, or maybe buy an entire 6-pack of it. I don't know.
Now, be careful with that, man, because like if you're singing the praises like that, it may cause people to rush the stores, and you may never find it again.
That's quite possible. I've done that once before. Several years ago, me and a friend of mine, Scott, we went through a phase where we would like, because I had just got a job where I was making decent money, and I didn't have any bills and anything. It was really, and I had, not that anyone's really, I should have been responsible and invested it in something, but I was getting, I was making decent money.
I was like, Brian, buy Amazon. Amazon schmamazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Well, I ain't
garbage.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't. They just sell books online. What are they ever going to do?
Yeah, that's dumb.
So I was just burning through money, and me and him, he loves to cook and throw parties and whatnot, and so we would go to Jungle Gyms on a weekend and just buy like $300 or $400 worth of food and drink, and then we go back to his place and we'd throw a party, But there was a beer there called, and I had mentioned last week that a good German beer is Spaten, Spaten, and they have it's just called a Pils, Spaten Pils, and it's sold in single, like 22-ounce bottles or something like, I don't know, 22-ounce bottles, I think, maybe. But they're only sold in singles like that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe 4-packs. But anyway, Jungle Gyms had them, and we bought a few, and it was just one of the best beers we'd ever had. So the next time we went back, we bought the rest of them. I mean, we literally had the guy that worked there had to go bring his. He had a ladder up there on the top shelf, going through all the loose bottles that they had and pulling them all out for us. We probably came home with about 14 or 15 of them. and they was like $2 a piece. Great deal,
Damn.
man. And
Do you still drink this beer?
no, because we drank them all, and can't find them anymore,
You
man.
drank them out of existence. Wow.
I don't know whether they just don't send them to the States anymore or what, but yeah, we bought those, and that was the last time I've ever seen them. Anytime I go to a Jungle Gyms or a Party Town or a Party Source, I always check but
You'll have
they're just gone.
to send me the information for that beer. That way I can keep an extra pair of eyes out for you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that, man.
All right, cool. I'm having
What? Yeah. We talk way too much about what I'm drinking. What are you drinking?
Well, I mean, if you're drinking something new and different each time, well, at least when you have these beers.
If you tell me you're drinking another rum-based drink, I'm gonna slap you.
I am so glad that they haven't, haven't in a minute like reached through TV or reached through. Yeah, I'll be slapped. Yeah, I like rum.
Well, that's a good thing though. That's not completely not understandable. I get it. Rum is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you like rum too.
Yeah.
But you've learned some lessons in life, and so you stay away from it. But
yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm having, and so let's see
right.
here. What's next? What's next on tap?
Well, I think we need to thank our YouTube listeners, even though I screwed up last week and I never sent you a file for YouTube. I had technical reasons for that, although that's not an excuse because I could have taken the time to do it. But anyway, I apologize I'm going to be sending you 2 files. I have the file prepped and ready to go. I just need to upload it. And so,
all is forgiven.
So you'll be getting 2 files this week. So yeah, but YouTube peoples, subscribe, like, share, all of that.
All of it.
Now, a lot of YouTube people that I watch, they always are like, smash that button and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you necessarily need to smash it.
Yeah,
a click will suffice.
Yeah, like your computer already goes through enough abuse.
It does, really. Yeah.
So I mean,
you I mean, smash it if you want, but
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. A click will do. I'll be just as happy with a click, and of course, share it far and wide. That's the most important thing. Alrighty, so we have of our millions of listeners, and I want to put an asterisk next to that million because we don't have like actual analytical proof that there's millions, but it makes us feel good to think that there are.
There's millions.
Okay,
we are not celebrities in our own minds.
But of those millions, one listener is probably there from the beginning and probably our most consistent.
There's another one as well.
Okay. Well, the one that I'm speaking of has sent in some responses. So not only have they been there since the beginning, but they're engaged in the show. They listen, and so they had some responses to last week's show, and I thought it would be fun to go through some of their thoughts and comment when appropriate. What do you think? Sound fun to you, Joe?
Sounds like a winning proposition.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. So this the first one here, which makes Yeah, I probably shared too much last show, but you know, that's what happens. It says seriously, Brian may have acid reflux, and I don't know. That's possible, I guess. I had never considered that because when I was younger, like in my teens and early to mid 20s, I don't know when it went away, but I used to have the kind of acid reflux where when I laid, like when I'd go to bed and I would it would like come up in my bile or whatever would come up in my throat.
No, I've never experienced that. I've heard of people who have experienced it. That doesn't sound like
It's
fun at all.
it's nasty. It's just nasty.
It's like a
So
burning in your throat. Do you taste it?
yeah, it's a nasty. Yeah, it's as nasty as taste. It's just ugh, it's horrible. And I don't know why that went away, but I it's just one of those things I'd never considered. That acid reflux could manifest in a bunch of different or in multiple ways. So they could be right on that. I'd not thought about that. I guess it wouldn't. I mean, if it ever really becomes a problem, um, maybe that's something I could look into. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
This one here this next one is funny to me. And this is I can't I can't remember exactly what I said, but she's obviously referring to me. He actually believes that drug taking nut job from Missouri. He is part of the impeached president's mob. And
Now,
for
mind
people
you,
who are, go ahead.
there are a lot of drug taking nut jobs from Missouri. If I recall
I'm sure
correctly,
there are.
Missouri was like a hotbed of meth in its heyday, like the early 2000s.
Oh wow. Really?
Missouri was. I think there was like. I remember reading a stat that there were like more meth labs in Missouri than any other place in the world or something like that. Just something out of this world.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. People who, well, first of all, people should who don't know. She's talking about Rush Limbaugh. He's from Missouri.
Yeah, the southeast corner of Missouri. What's the name of that place again? Where's he from? Like, I know it's a home of the Throwed Rolls. There's a famous restaurant called Lambert's. And
Okay.
what's the name of that? I'm gonna look it up. See where he's from.
Okay. So yeah, but people that don't like Rush love to cling to this.
Cape Girardeau.
Cape Girardeau. Yeah, that sounds right. They just love to stick to they love this drug taking. I mean, as though he's the only one who ever had back surgery or whatever and had to take and got hooked on.
Well, I mean, that's not the only
whatever.
drug. Those aren't the only drugs he's been caught in possession of. He's been caught in the possession of what's that stuff? For people who can't get it up, the blue pill.
I'm not aware of that.
What's the name of the drug? I can't remember of it.
Viagra.
Viagra. Yeah. I think he was going like to Puerto Rico, and he got arrested for I think having illegal possession of a prescription drug.
Okay.
He was going. It was either Puerto Rico. I think it was Puerto Rico. Going down there for some of that, good spicy loving, apparently.
Still, I get it. It's fun to make fun of about, but it's kind of indigent. In
And what?
Yeah, I don't know. The word escaped me. I just think it's kind of cheap. It's like a cheap shot. It's like low hanging fruit, and it's just, it's people get hooked on. I mean, that's why people die of heroin overdoses, man. They can't get their they get in, they have pain and they get on these prescription drugs, and then when they and then when they can't get the prescription drugs legally, they turn to um, the illegal kind. And so, yeah, he was human, and he got caught up in the same thing that millions of Americans
But
do.
I think the thing that makes it a little I mean, the picture you painted is, paints the picture of a totally sympathetic, situation. But I think he's been on the bandwagon of the whole lock him up, lock him up and throw away the key, and being the I don't want to say a fount of moral rectitude and upstandingness, but I think he's got he's not. He's not just the junkie on the street, so to speak. He also would have been the prosecutor, in a way. So, in defense of a producer.
For prescription drug abuse.
I
mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying in drugs in general. So, like, to me, if the person's doing heroin as opposed to one of the prescription drugs, the guy who's doing heroin isn't clearly a bad person, and the other person isn't. It's still addiction.
I get it. I get it. So the problem is what was that it's the hypocrisy of it.
There you go, touchdown.
But I got it. There's a lot of hypocrisy everywhere, and I don't know. I get why she said it. You've said it. A lot of people say it, but I think it's just kind of a. Oh, you said it on a couple of occasions.
About Rush?
It's like you can't mention Rush without talking about him taking pills. You've done it on 2 occasions that I can remember.
Wow, I mean, I didn't realize I was on that beat. Cool.
Well, that's fine. And
I'm not denying it.
If it's any consolation, he's probably not long for this world. So,
well, I don't wish on anyone.
This pill popper will be out of everyone's hair soon enough.
You're kicking the bucket.
Now this one here, this next one was interesting. About there's plenty of news about Hunter Biden on MSNBC, and then obviously Brian never watches liberal TV. I'll tell you what, Brian doesn't watch TV.
You don't watch Fox?
No, fuck.
What?
No. I hate Fox as much as. See, that's the funny thing is liberals all think that Fox is this great bastion of conservatism, but Fox is as bad as anyone else. And no, I don't watch Fox. I don't watch any of them.
I used to watch Fox just because it's like, taking your medicine or doing your homework, things you ought to do. But yeah, you're telling me they don't toe the conservative line or a conservative-esque line? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? Well, what are you comparing them to? What are you comparing them to?
I mean, I guess I'm comparing them against all the other media producers that are on TV, I guess. And they're probably to the left of Breitbart, and probably to the left.
The CNNs, the MSNBCs, and all them, they have given up any. They don't even try to pretend that they're non-biased. They've shown their colors, and so if Fox is considered conservative because they're not as crazy left as the others are, then I guess I understand where it's coming from. But no, they're
Well, I think what bears what needs to be said is that you're kind of to the right of Attila the Hun, like
me.
Yeah. Yeah, you make him look like a cupcake, like dainty, like he's not yeah.
Is that supposed to be an insult? Because it's making me feel kind of like fuck yeah.
No, not an insult, just an observation.
Okay.
I'm not very good at doing insults anyway.
Well, but her the thing is, when they say plenty of news of Hunter Biden. Well, I'm curious about what that news was, because if the news is simply there's nothing there and that the emails don't have metadata, well, that's pointless news to me.
Well, I mean, there's one way you can find out, man.
Watch MSNBC?
Yeah, I mean, you might have to keep a vomit bag on standby, but that problem is easily solvable.
Hmm. This one is a good question, and this is kind of like um, when I would like just say they or whatever. But the deep state, what the hell does that mean? Ask Brian. Name some Name some names of people in the deep state. Well, I can't necessarily name names because that's probably part of the deep part is that you don't know them, but I would if I was to
Yeah, they wouldn't be very deep
yeah,
if they were if you just had their names on you.
I I would say George Soros is part of the deep state. I would
No,
say
he can't be part of the deep state. He's not even part of the government.
yeah, but
I'm
he's
gonna
got a lot of he's got a lot of influence
but
in the
just
government.
for
All right, well, okay, fine. We'll take Soros out. The Comeys, the Brennans, the people, basically all people
I think what you said
who
earlier
aren't
was
really
true.
they're not necessarily elected. They're appointed,
Oh,
and they just
you had a definition earlier that was pretty spot on. You said people on the senior levels of
yeah.
our intelligence services, senior
Mm,
levels of our police services, the FBI, senior like senators and representatives. You know those guys that aren't going anywhere ever.
right, right.
See. Basically, look at any of the major committees. So, Armed Forces Committee, the person who chairs that, and the vice chair who chairs that, those are likely to be people in the deep state. But let me give a quick definition of it as well, just for good measure. This comes from, let's see here, Wikipedia. According to
Okay.
journalist Robert Worth, the expression deep state had originated in Turkey in the 1990s, where the military colluded with drug traffickers and hitmen to wage a dirty war against Kurdish insurgents. The term deep state is likely a translation from the Turkish, something in Turkish, literally meaning deep state, deep polity. So,
Okay.
that's some inside baseball. But another secondary definition: deep state is conspiracy theory, which suggests collusion and cronyism exists within the U.S. political system and constitute a hidden government within the legitimately elected government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that definition, and I love. Of course, it's a conspiracy. Yeah. Of course, it is.
well, we can. I mean, if you strike out the word conspiracy,
It takes all legitimacy away from the argument. So
you may read it again without the word conspiracy.
no, it's fine. It'll everything's a conspiracy until it's exposed.
Okay.
So this one, I'm not sure what this next one means. Maybe this might be for you. If if Obama won on star power, I don't know. Did we say that?
I said that.
Okay.
I
If we won on star power, then what caused his reelection?
Well, I said, yeah. I was talking about in that scenario the difference. I think I was specifically talking about the 2008 Democratic primary for president, and I said it was a contest of star power in that Barack Obama had more of it than Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
And
Well,
literally,
he was kind of he did have like rock star status after that after his speech at the what was it the DNC convention?
yeah. And we should go back and review him sometime because like that one. Well, yeah. Let's not get too far off track, but that was extraordinary, and I don't think people or anyone's really gone back and tried to really digest what was going on. You know, yeah.
We might uncover some things that people don't want to hear.
Well, then we'll be the conspiracy theorists.
Right. Um, so this one here, this one is squarely aimed at me. Trump in a landslide after he lost the popular vote, and after a blue wave in 2018, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you were
uh,
being what a little cheeky
Yeah, I was going for the fences. Like if I'd have been right, it would have been pretty sweet, but it was a long shot. So, I'll own that. That was, I definitely got that wrong. Um, and then, at first I didn't get this one, but then Montana is half blue, one of the best senators. But yeah, I said I was going to move to Montana.
I didn't catch that either.
The Montana was, Montana or one of those states out there.
Yeah, like
Wyoming will work.
Yeah.
Wyoming will be fine. I don't know.
Yeah, those two are like, to me they might as well be the same state.
Yeah, it is kind of. Yeah.
Like when's the last time you met someone from Wyoming?
I don't think I've ever met someone from Wyoming.
I know that I've met one person, and they're a pretty cool person. But yeah.
Hey, I believe it.
And it's John Tester and Steve Daines are the senators from Montana.
Okay.
Just
which one is the best? One of the best.
Tester.
Okay. This one here, this is a question. He has shit in his glasses. How did it get there? Now, I wasn't sure about this one at first, but I was talking. I was talking about my glasses getting fogged up. So maybe I just used. I just said shit instead of fog one time. Maybe I don't unless there's something else. But I know that my language isn't the best.
That sounds like Mom.
I would have been like
Oh, she may have been referring to you being shit-faced.
But I don't think we talked about. Well, I mean, maybe I was literally shit-faced by the end of the episode. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
But anyway, how did it get there? And this one here, this is an interesting one. This is the final one. This is aimed at both of us. She starts it off with, you guys are always commenting on women's looks. Then you wonder why women want to fix how they look. Now
Guilty. Dead to rights there. I mean,
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty self-aware of things I say about. I mean, I might. If I say, maybe I'll say some jokingly things about women, and I certainly appreciate pretty women, but I don't know, man. I prefer women who don't have tattoos. I prefer women that don't have plastic. I just women. I honestly believe that women who go out and get all this work done is they're holding themselves up to a unrealistic image of what women should be, and that's not coming from people like me. That's definitely coming from what they see on Instagram. It's what they see. Well, today it's what they see on Instagram. It used to be what they read in women's magazines and all these things that telling them who defines what beautiful is.
Well, I mean, I think you're taking a page from the school from the book. When in a hole, keep on digging. But as long as you're digging, I might as well join you. I would say to that. I think a good portion of the things that women do to themselves aren't for men. I think they're for other women. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
For example, I've never noticed a woman's, you'll see women with the lashes, like the mascara. I've never been like,
Yeah.
oh man, like what, I mean, if it wasn't for the eyelashes, I would not find her attractive at all. You know,
Exactly. Yep.
there's
Yep.
no adornment on a woman that to me made a difference. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Exactly. Yeah.
uh, you know, yeah. So, but hey, we appreciate the comments, and
Yeah. I love the comments. I genuinely do love the comments.
yeah, he always asks about them. And so, like,
I
hey, millions of listeners. If we get more of them, we might have to start making it a part of the show. But
yeah. So thank you for that. And I don't know. I don't know whether I don't know. You know, if I helped by talking about any of them, but yeah, those are
probably not.
probably not.
If we're
Oh
honest with
well.
ourselves.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. All right, so moving on, we do have some George Floyd updates.
All right.
So I guess the judge. It seems weird that a judge can do this, but I guess a judge can do about anything. A judge orders a single trial for the four officers in George Floyd's death, and he's going to keep the trial in Hennepin County. So,
Okay.
and the trial is scheduled to begin March 8th next year.
All right, so like, I mean, we had a few stories where the prosecutors had sought to have all the trials lumped together, and I think I think some of the defense team were like, yeah, we don't want to be together, and so
Hell no.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I guess the judge has made a decision as to what's going to go down, and there you go, there you have it. There's going to be one big trial,
Now,
huh?
yeah, but one of the things that caught my eye from the headline when I seen this was, it says Cahill, who is the judge, ruled that cameras will be allowed in the courtroom,
Oh wow.
citing the difficulties presented by COVID-19 and the need for social distancing. Because courtroom access and seating will be limited, Judge Cahill said, cameras are needed to present a trial that is truly public. He did include a list of limitations. Among them, jurors can't be shown. No witness under 18 can be shown on video, but can use audio. No members of George Floyd's family appearing on video unless consenting. No zooming in on tables of lawyers or defendant. And no microphones on the counsel tables. Now, when I first heard that headline, I was thinking of another like OJ trial. Not necessarily because it would be a circus or anything, but just that. I mean that trial, really showed the workings of how the court, a trial works, and I don't know whether this means there's going to be like a court TV is going to have cameras in there for everything or not, or if they just mean, when they say cameras, maybe it's just like literal just cameras taking still photos. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think you're you have a different take on the OJ situation, because I think you're probably one of the few people to actually watch all of it.
right.
And so yeah, I always found that fascinating.
Yeah, and I feel compelled to clarify. I had when that trial was on, I had had my big accident, and I was in recovery still. So that's why I had nothing to do all day for months at a time, but watch the OJ trial.
And all this time, I just thought that you were like, just slumming it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd wake up. I think Magnum PI would come on, and then I'd watch Magnum. I think I'd watch 2 episodes of Magnum, and then I'd switch over to what I think it was at the time. I think it was CNN that was broadcasting the trial.
Gavel to gavel?
Gavel to gavel, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, crazy.
So our next story, speaking of gavels, Arbery, an Arbery update. Basically, it looks as if the district attorney who had been pursuing the case just got voted out. Georgia voters oust district attorney criticized over involvement in Ahmaud Arbery case. Amid election cycle that has seen notable criminal justice wins like the restoration of voting rights for people on parole in California and moves towards greater police oversight, voters in the Georgia City ousted district attorney. Voters in a Georgia city ousted a district attorney who was heavily criticized for her handling an investigation into the Ahmaud Arbery murder. See here, Arbery, a 25-year-old black man, was shot and killed by two. I thought it was three. Two white men while jogging in a residential neighborhood in Brunswick, Georgia, in February. Incumbent Jackie Johnson, a Republican, lost her position in the Brunswick Judicial Court to Keith Higgins, a former prosecutor running as an independent candidate, by a margin of 5,000 votes. She was first elected in 2010. So, yeah, that's something that doesn't happen very often, where you have an incumbent get unseated like that. So, hey, they say all politics is local. Yeah, that's not a joke.
So what does that mean for the case, I guess? Does the new prosecutor just pick up? Did that start over?
What likely happens is that basically she finishes her term and then she basically hands over the cases to him and he runs it how he chooses to. So yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to start over, but I mean, yeah, the way they boggled this or bumbled this, you had to fear. It's good that there were electoral consequences, and so good on the citizens of Brunswick, Georgia.
Sure. Yeah. Well, speaking of the election, we had one this week.
Really? Holy crap!
Yeah.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah. So, what? Yeah, I've been and I've been thinking since then about what we were going to talk about tonight. I don't know what to think or I don't know what to say about this exactly. What do you have any absolute thoughts on it yourself?
Well, let's first talk about what we know. We know that we had the election on the 3rd. That was the 3rd, right? And several states basically things came back so close, or they just have jacked up ways of counting their votes such that we don't know who won for the president yet. And those states are Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia.
So, yeah, I mean, as I understand it, when I was watching the result, it just seems like states decided they were just going to stop counting, and that bothers me.
What do you mean they decided they're going to stop counting?
They just decided they were going to stop counting. It's like we're done counting for the night, and they're the ones that they still haven't reported anything yet. I don't know, man.
The way I understood it is like I understood it to be like the guys that work at the DMV, or the men and women that work at the DMV.
Okay.
If at 5 o'clock or whenever quitting time comes, they get up and leave. There's no like sticking around and you know taking one for the team. They want to go home, and I got the same impression that hey these guys are just doing their job, and it's quitting time, so we're going home. We'll come back and do it tomorrow. That's how I took it.
So there's precedent. This happens every election.
Um, I don't know, but I just that's what I assume. I
Okay.
assume that they're like, we got all these ballots. State law says we can't start counting until election day, even though we would have liked to start processing, as soon as we got them. But hey, so in fact, I think the next day Trump came out saying, "Hey, we want to stop the counting of voting." That probably was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not the dumbest. Yeah, it's up there. We want to have them stop counting votes. That sounds yeah, bad.
Well, I don't know. I think he's. I think that he's like poised to win these states if they would just call him, but they won't call him.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't call them before they count the votes. We can agree on that, can't we?
Well, and that's the thing, the votes. I don't know, man. Aren't there doesn't each state have its own laws based on that govern how elections are run?
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's just something doesn't pass the smell test with me. But then again,
All
I
right,
guess that's to be expected.
let's clarify. Are you
Mhm.
suggesting that you know, let's say there are
I'll go on the record and say I absolutely believe that we are currently witnessing the theft of an election.
the theft of an election?
I believe that.
Okay, you said believe,
Yeah, I know that. You know,
and
I'm
have you?
not I'm not I'm not saying that it's I may be wrong, but I just
So
I
just for term of clarification, you can't put your finger on something and be like, "Yep, there it is, theft."
well, yeah. I mean, I just the way everything has went down, and then plus it's been, you know, it's been something has just been weird about these whole mail-in ballots from the beginning,
Yeah, I
and then all of a sudden this, and then do you remember a few months back we went whenever we started questioning the mail-in ballots, all of a sudden there was this big push to hype up the post office and to get it into people's heads that the post office was well equipped to handle this and everything. I don't know. It just
Oh, I kind of thought the exact opposite was the case. What I was hearing was that the post office wasn't equipped, and that people were concerned that their votes wouldn't make it to the make it in time to be counted because of the post office not being properly equipped. And I remember hearing things about the postmaster general, like taking off, or saying that they wouldn't be doing overtime to handle the delivery of all the ballots, and they were taking off sorting machines to make it more, which would make it more difficult to count all the ballots. So I hadn't heard anything about the hyping up. I've heard only the tapping down.
well,
But I will say that also that we had talked. I think we talked about this very briefly, and that being how I think I said something in the past like you know there have been mail-in ballots for years upon years upon years, and it never has been an issue. But now it seems to be an issue. Like, and
well,
I think
I don't think I think there's a difference between absentee ballots and the mail-in ballots. I don't know what I'm not prepared to speak technically what the differences is, but I believe that there's a difference in the way that they're handled. Either I'd have to look it up though. I don't have that off the top of my head. I mean, I voted by absentee, but I literally had to request a ballot, and I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking that ballots were just sent out to people
Well,
without them actually requesting them.
that depends on where you are. So, in heavily Democratic states like Maryland, that's you basically it just comes out to you.
Mm.
Let's see here. One moment. I'm gonna pull up a. Okay, so Donald Trump. This comes from CNN. Donald Trump has repeatedly tried to draw a distinction between mail-in voting, which he thinks is bad, and open fraud, and absentee voting, which he thinks is good, might help him get reelected. It's confusing. It's a confusing distinction because it doesn't really exist. Let's see here. He has adjusted his rhetoric. Blah blah blah. This is CNN. Absentee voting is great. Your request. I'm an absentee voter because I requested, I got it, and then they sent me my vote. So that works very well. That's what we've had. But now they want to send millions and millions of ballots. In contrast, he said universal mail-in ballot voting will be very bad. Okay, so I think we just caught the distinction right there. Absentee ballots is basically, hey, you know what, my name is Joe Q Public, and for whatever reason, getting to the polls on the date on the election would be difficult to me, so I'm going to go out and request a ballot and have it sent to me. That's one way of going about it. The other way is when the state basically says everybody who's a registered voter is going to get a ballot. Universal mail-in voting is going to be a catastrophe. It's going to make our country a laughingstock all over the world. You just can't send out millions of ballots. But here's the thing: a whole lot of absentee voting, most of it is done by mail. An absentee vote is a vote cast outside of the voting booth, traditionally for very specific and limited reasons. There has been some version of absentee voting since the Civil War, when troops were voting from the battlefield. It helped Abraham Lincoln get reelected. Oh, wow. And so that appears to be the, as far as I can tell, a specific difference. One is voter requested, and the other one is basically everyone in the state gets one. And I guess when you put it in those terms, state of Maryland, millions of people get a ballot. Some portion of that's going to end up, there's going to be some amount of fraud in that. I believe that, right?
Right.
But I don't think it's I don't think it's, especially in a place like Maryland, I don't think it's going to affect the presidential election.
So the stories that you see, and maybe you don't see them because they're not on liberal MSNBC.
I don't watch MSNBC.
But the stories that you see about votes, all these stories about votes being someone finding a stockpile of votes for Donald Trump that have been discarded, or just all of these flat out what should be, they're just voter fraud incidents. Do you just believe that they're not happening, or that it doesn't matter? I mean, I don't know. I seen a list earlier of just all these, they just find stockpiles of Trump votes that have been discarded, and then all of a sudden, crazy number of pro Biden ballots show up just when he needed them, and I don't know, man.
Have you seen any pictures of a Trump votes? I mean, something like that.
Well, fair enough. So if you don't believe them,
no, yeah, something like that. If you had thousands upon thousands of discarded ballots, somebody would have taken a picture, and we would see pictures of it someplace. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I'm just saying, typically something like that, there's a photo of it someplace floating around. I mean, once again, everybody has a camera. There's,
yeah. I don't know how what Uh,
And,
are you familiar with? And this kind of goes. Actually, never mind. It's off topic. Never mind. Let's just stick to the election.
we can bring it up later if we have time. But yeah, uh, I think there probably was some fraud, and I think there's probably some fraud in every election. But I don't think it. I mean, you'd have to have an amount of fraud that would be almost impossible to go undetected. If that makes sense. So like, if it's one of those things where like, wait, we can agree on this. So you know about the whole like Russia collusion piece. People are, oh my God, Trump colluded with the Russians, right?
Well, I'm aware of the
You're aware of the rumor or of the accusation.
accusation.
I don't believe Trump colluded with the Russians because if he did, there'd be a wiretap, there'd be pictures, there'd be some evidence that would have come out by now. If that makes sense. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. So in the absence of it would be like a Hunter Biden-esque story that would come out like, oh, there was friggin' Trump and Giuliani was meeting with this shady character, and this is these are the pictures, and we know this happened. In the absence of that, I don't believe it. Similarly to this whole two massive voter fraud, I think you can't do something like that without leaving a tail.
Okay. Well, the thing that I feel confident in is that we'll find out.
Oh,
Trump
yeah.
Trump is not. He's not going to just roll over and accept. When he leaves office, if he leaves office because of this, it'll be after it was thoroughly.
Yeah, every rock,
right.
all of them will have been turned over. And he's not the type of guy that would take something like this laying down. So if it's out there, he's gonna find it. So that you can rest assured.
Right.
Deal.
So we'll yep. So sadly, but not surprisingly, I guess, even though it's 2 days after the election, maybe this time next week we can discuss talk about who the president is.
Hello.
Yeah. So.
I'll say this. I still don't think it's over. I still think there's a possibility Trump can win, and I'll make this prediction as well. If Trump does win, I think Ivanka's going to end up running for president.
Interesting. I still think Trump's going to win, but yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a nail biter, folks. Stay tuned.
Yeah, you have nails left. I'm all out.
All right, so we got to move on, and this next story is
What pervert did we have pulling up these stories? Death by cock.
I'll tell you what. I didn't contribute this story, and I didn't write the headline.
We need to find whatever intern.
Yeah, we need to find that guy. But this is police officer killed by rooster while breaking up a cockfight. And I haven't even read this article, but before I believe this shit, man. Have you ever seen these roosters that they groom for cockfighting, man?
Yeah, they're like death birds.
They're just fucking scary. And then they put them spurs on them. Yeah, good like Lord. Yeah, man. Like razor talons.
Yeah.
So
that would be a terribly embarrassing way to go. Be like, yeah. You can read the story. I'm about to say something.
Yeah, a police officer has been killed by a rooster while attempting to break up an illegal cockfight in the Philippines. Police in northern Samar province said Lieutenant Christian Bullock was struck by the rooster's gaff, a metal blade attached to the bird for a fight. Yeah, and I knew it. I knew it without even reading this. The gaff hit his femoral artery as he was confiscating the bird. He was rushed to provincial hospital, but was pronounced dead on arrival due to heavy blood loss. Yeah, that shit is no joke, man. I would not get in between two of those cockfighting roosters, man.
Well, I mean, it's an embarrassing way to die, but yeah, he must have been a good guy because, yeah, I mean, I would have looked at that and been like, I'm just gonna shoot the birds. Yeah.
Well, yes, that should have, because you can't. I'm sorry, but you just ain't going to rehabilitate these roosters that have been groomed for this one thing.
Yeah, the only thing they're good for then is soup.
Yeah.
Because they're probably all like sinewy, and because all the muscle they've been building.
Yuck. So yeah, that's crazy, man. But I believe it because I had heard about. I don't know even how. I mean, I've never watched a cockfight, or anything. I don't know where I first learned about that, but when I found out that they strap those little razor talons on them, man, I was like, God damn.
That's kind of sadistic. I mean, the birds already. Why do you have to arm them? I mean,
yeah, maybe,
terrible.
yeah. People, the human nature definitely has a dark side, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's probably our millions of listeners out there probably done a collective. Duh.
Like, where you two been living?
Right. So this next, okay. So I want to move on, and this is we have an article, but I don't want to just read the article. But I just want to talk at a conceptual level about this. Are we living in a simulation?
Okay, let me
and what that means is a simulation. The best way to describe it would be for people who have watched The Matrix. That would be kind of like what we're talking about. We're living in a software generated world and stuff like that. Scott Adams is a big proponent of that.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you be a proponent of that?
He just I guess if you don't believe in God, you can believe in just about anything. So why not believe? I mean, or if people who believe in God want to, if people can believe in a make-believe all-powerful deity up in the sky, then why couldn't they believe that their creators are, that they're just living in this computer-generated world?
Yeah.
And then, and then you have like how that could explain, uncanny coincidences and deja vu and things that could be called, quote unquote, the glitch in the Matrix type of thing. It's an interesting concept. I don't necessarily buy it, but I don't believe in artificial intelligence either. So
yeah. See, like I guess this is me putting on the Joe High hat again. I don't know if I believe. I figure we're not in a simulation because, I mean, we're not in a simulation because there hasn't just been like a massive mass casualty event where just hundreds of thousands of people just die for no reason.
Because somebody's server got unplugged.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or power outage. So that's
Well, Scott Adams, and I don't know, man. Maybe I just we've talked about my thoughts on him offline, but so I don't know. Maybe, but he seems to like legitimately believe that there is artificial intelligence that decides to do things, and I just refuse that. I just don't believe that.
Like I said, one of these days you'll have to set us all straight about this fabled technology show, and this is something I think we disagree on. I think I'm not necessarily sure if we disagree. I think I don't think I've fully understood where you're coming from it. So
I come from. I guess it all depends on what our definition of intelligence is. Because machine learning is a very real thing.
Mm.
But when I think of intelligence, I think of a computer program has never and is never going to on its own decide to create a work of art.
So you seem like you're putting your finger on higher level intelligence.
No, just to create anything.
Because art is like that's very high level. I mean,
no, it's not.
You don't think
a computer programmer is never going to decide to do a finger painting. It's just any kind of creativity is just a computer program is just not going to and again unless there's some computer programming language out there that I'm not aware of. When it comes down to it, a computer can it's either true or false, on or off, and you can have someone can write code that really intricate code that maybe emulates intelligence, but it's never going to be intelligent.
Yeah. See, I think you keep on coming back to art, and to me, even the simplest finger painting is high level intelligence. My definition of intelligence is much more base. Can you take in information and can you take in information? Well, I mean, can you learn basically?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the very most basic level of intelligence is taking information, processing it, and being able to come out with an intelligible outcome. And so, insofar as you can point to machine learning as a thing, to my mind, that crosses the threshold for, once again, the very base of computer. I mean, that's low-level computer intelligence. Now, being able to write music or paint a picture, all that to me is higher-level stuff.
A computer is never going to decide to do something on its own. It's always going to be instructed to do it.
Now, my understanding is that some like a computer can you can in machine learning, the machine can take in all this information and then make more information, right? Can't some of these things that they claim are artificial intelligence write their own code?
I can't imagine that. I don't know. I can't imagine that they do.
My understanding is that that's something that happened 15 years ago, where you have machine. The programmers set this machine going, and the machine it takes in the information and it starts writing its own code, and it gets to the point where the machine is doing things that the programmers have no idea why and can't speak to. They can't find a line of code, they can't see anything that they put in, but the machine would write its own code and act. If I could point you to an instance of of machines. Sorry, a computer being programmed by humans, but then writing its own code. Would that at least might that change
I
the
wonder
market?
what I wonder I wonder what I wonder what a computer's favorite programming language is.
I mean, I think that
Or
that
I
was
guess, or maybe it just writes directly in binary. I don't know.
that's something we can figure out. But like I have heard of
Yeah, I've heard the stories about programmers or people who say that machines have done things that they can't explain. But I'm sorry, I'll just say it. I don't buy it. I'd have to
fair
see
enough.
it. I'd have to witness it myself.
No, fair enough. Just so you know, I mean, I've got a friend who he works on this type of stuff, and I'll see if I can, you know, I mean, I'll send it your way. You're much more computer adept than I am, so you be a better judge if it's actual intelligence or what it is.
Yeah, and maybe maybe it is, maybe it's all about a person's definition of intelligence. But
It's funny because
um,
well,
machine learning, I will grant, machine learning can result in some. Because like I'll be honest, like when like when you, I don't know if your phone, if I don't know when I get a text message from you or some other friends, um, my phone will suggest replies, and
yeah,
a lot of times their replies are spot on what I would type anyway. But
yeah.
you know, that's machine learning, and it is it's impressive what it can do. But
But I assume that that there comes there's like a threshold where you switch you go beyond machine learning or a learning machine into to an intelligent machine. Now, the intelligence doesn't necessarily mean that it has consciousness. That's a totally different can of worms. But I think you can say that a machine can be intelligent. But we can follow that rabbit hole on another show.
sure, yeah, we'll have to. Um, so um, so we're definitely living in a, especially this year, we're definitely living in a delivery driven economy, if that's accurate to say. I've paid way more money than I care to even know to people to bring me food at my place, in my house here, and one of the trends that they've been doing lately is, to prove that your food got delivered, you'll get a text message with a picture of their food um, sitting in front of your door as, proof of delivery.
Well, I think it's probably also because of the whole like COVID, you know.
Yeah, no contact. It's, yeah, contact free delivery. So
Mm,
you don't have to see the person. You just have to trust them carrying your food around, but you don't have to actually see them when they deliver it. So I like it because I just don't like dealing with people. So
well,
if you want to
how do
just
you
leave
tip
my
them?
food, oh, it's all online.
Oh, okay.
It's all online.
I'm sure they prefer cash.
Well, COVID travels by cash.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're heading towards a cashless society.
That would be awful.
Yeah, it would be a horrible thing. Um, but anyway, but this only works as long as you have an honest delivery person. Because this DoorDash driver takes a photo to prove the food order was delivered, but then steals it. It's brilliant, I guess.
Let's see. Let's see. Proof of delivery. Drivers take picture of food before they leave and show the customer their order is here. Anyone who's ever ordered delivery has wondered at some point in time if the drivers stole their fries. And delivery
Yeah.
drivers even admit they're occasionally guilty. But one woman caught her DoorDash driver stealing her entire order and posted it on TikTok. DoorDash users now request contact-free delivery where the driver will leave the food at the door. Drivers
Right.
take the picture of the order before they leave to show the customer the food was delivered. But thanks to the doorbell cam, one woman caught her taking the. That would piss me off.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't think I would trust, someone delivering my food because I know for me, whenever I'm driving with food, let's say I went out and got McDonald's, you know, I always reach in the bag and grab a few fries.
See, okay.
I mean,
So I'm taking from this conversation that you've never used a service like DoorDash or Uber
no,
Eats. Interesting.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I know me. I reach in and grab a few fries. I just can't imagine the guy who's
Well,
driving around.
I think in this new world, restaurants they
They zip up the
pretty
bag
much
and
they seal the bag
staple it.
up.
And, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that somebody did that. Yeah, some of my fries are missing, and then
I absolutely love the idea the of this driver just slamming his hand over into your bag and just feeling around for something and pulling out fries and just
nom 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 nom.
just nom 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 while they're driving trying to find your house. I love that idea.
Well, as a person who actually uses a service, that surprises me.
Yeah, well, I don't use it. I don't use it for places like that have like drive-throughs that I can do, but I do use it for places that don't have like drive-throughs and stuff.
Huh. Fine dining.
Right.
Tonight we feast.
I fucked up, man. I bought about a month ago, man. I was browsing around on DoorDash and I seen that there was a place called Cincy Seafood, I think.
Yeah, to me that should be a non-starter.
Well, but I like crab legs and all that kind of stuff. And granted, I know that living in northern Kentucky, the freshness of of seafood is questionable. But they offered things, like Joe's Crab Shack, where you just get like a pot of just a bunch of stuff in it. And so, that's all good and great and everything. But then I realized I was left over. What I was left with was a bunch of carcass of seafood that was, quite literally going to rot and start stinking immediately, man. So yeah.
Yeah, there are certain foods that you go to eat out for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, drunk Brian is out on my back deck at midnight, chucking crab shells and shit into the grass behind my condo.
I'm sure the raccoons and cats appreciate you for that.
Well, that's what I told them. That's how I reconciled it with myself. Is that someone's going to eat this shit, man.
Terrible, awful. I like seafood too, and that's one of the things we met over. Like shrimp, right?
Yeah. We used to kill. I think we get like at least 2 orders of peeled shrimp.
Oh yeah. I'd always have them bring extra butter and ask for a lemon.
Oh
so
yeah,
poor man's tea, poor man's lemonade.
Yep. That's hilarious. That was good times, man.
But yeah, and would never trust a place named Cincy Seafood because it doesn't touch water at all.
Well, but in all honesty, the seafood was fine. I mean, I didn't get sick or anything. It is what it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish sickness on you. So.
Yeah. So, as if I didn't need another reason to play yet another Ice Cube song at the beginning of this episode.
We need a reason.
Yeah, I apparently don't because I play the shit out of Ice Cube on this podcast. But yeah, I just have I just this is a discussion point that we can we can talk about, or maybe there's nothing to talk about. But Ice Cube recently here within the past month, we've had people like Ice Cube, 50 Cent, others. They and I don't even want to say they didn't really even endorse Trump in any way. They just kind of took the position of well, they didn't shit on him. It seems like if you're in Hollywood in any way, you just have to shit on Trump. That's just what you have to do. And they didn't do that. And they're getting negative reactions, man, from people who it probably surprises them. And I don't know about 50 Cent so much, but I would say that Ice Cube is one of the people who is uncancelable.
Yeah, yeah.
You just can't touch. He literally, when he was a teenager, I know that there was some others before him, but he, as a teenager, wrote NWA's Straight Outta Compton album, and that he created the entire. I'll say he created the entire gangster rap genre when he was a teenager, and he's only gotten better. He's only gotten better as he's gotten older, and so people can say what they want about him, but you can't cancel him. He's not going anywhere. 50 Cent, I don't know.
Well,
We only know about him because of Eminem.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I think there's a canon of people who, through their talent, wit, skill, or something about them, makes them uncancelable. And
Exactly.
Ice Cube's in that group. I think Kanye West is in that group. Apparently, Donald Trump is in that group before he became president.
Right.
But hey, let me. I found something. Ice Cube is seemingly fed up with the backlash he continues to receive after confirming he worked with President Donald Trump on a plan to help the black community.
Right.
A rapper whose real name is O'Shea Jackson. I did not realize that was his first name. That's about as Irish. O'Shea. I mean, wow.
Yeah, O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, I signed off on Twitter early Thursday while election anxiety is at an all-time high in the country as citizens still await voting results. Let me get this straight. I get the President of the United States to agree to put over $500 billion of capital in the black community, and expletive are mad at me, he tweeted. Unfortunately for the hitmaker, the tweet only garnered more critical remarks from his followers. One person claimed his alleged work with the president to support the black community isn't real. Your thoughts?
These people that are I think that these people who are criticizing him they're just unreasonable. Period. But I hope it. I have little hope that it will, but I'd like to think that it might open his eyes to these people and their agendas.
Why do you suspect that it won't?
I just I don't know, man. I just because I just have to see it because I've not seen anyone. I see this is kind of like hypocrisy again in a way. It's just I don't know. I need to see. He needs to do something to. He needs to do more to show me that. But Not that it matters. I mean, he is who he is, and
I'm sorry,
I mean he.
you cut out for about 3 seconds, 4 seconds. I did not hear a word you said.
It was brilliant.
Damn.
You'll have to you'll have to re-listen to this episode to hear the brilliance that I said. No, I don't know. I just I'm just yet to see it. No one, even when things like this happen, and like in my head, I would like for Ice Cube to say, "Oh, these people who I used to identify with really are just idiots, and I don't want anything to do with them." That's what I want. That's what I would like for him to do. I just don't think that he will. But I hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think a lot of I think a lot of the criticism he's been getting haven't been from real people. I think it's been from operatives. So I mean, if you're
Operatives.
yeah,
Oh.
people who are operatives for the Democratic Party, Shields. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who are genuinely offended by Ice Cube working with but I don't understand why someone would be offended. I mean, if if somebody if he puts forth a plan and he gets the man with the big pen to agree to it and work with him on it, that's a win no matter how you cut it. I mean,
In the
yeah.
in the sane world, you're right.
No, I mean, but I honestly think that I think I'm a lot more optimistic than you because it's one of those things where when you see it, you're like, oh my god, these people are sick. Like I mean, he literally. I don't see how you can look at what he did, which is work with the president to help amend his plan is a bad thing. I mean, as he said, if he was able to get $500 billion, $500 billion put into the budget, or even in a working document anywhere, that's impressive. It's funny because the Michael Bloomberg he put forth like his plan was what was his initiative? Green something initiative. Namesake was the Oklahoma riots back at the turn of the last century. Bloomberg put in his plan called for $75 billion for Black communities, and so this is on a whole different order of magnitude. But yeah,
Well, I've said to you before. I think that if there was ever a shot of any kind of real reparations, that it would take someone like a Trump to do it.
and in that we agree insofar as mainline Democrats won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Mainline Republicans, don't they won't even broach the topic. So,
Right.
insofar as Donald Trump is neither a mainline Democrat or a Republican, he would be the most natural fit. But even Donald Trump has his limits. He couldn't do anything in the first term because he would lose his base. I would assume, but in a second term, which he may be denied, there is a possibility.
All right. Well, anyway, I found that interesting. I'm a huge Ice Cube fan.
Really?
I
Never known that.
yeah. So no, he's just I mean he literally he was a teenager. He wrote the music the songs that he wrote is just it's groundbreaking as far as what it ended up leading to and doing and everything. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, O'Shea Jackson is a musical genius, and yeah, it had always
Well, I will say that it seems as if, like, perhaps the week before the election, you had a lot of rappers almost seemingly come out of the woodwork in support of Donald Trump, which
Now
I,
that's weird, isn't it? That's
yeah, well,
crazy, right?
um, in fact, how much time do we have?
We're at a hour and a half,
Okay.
and then take about 10 minutes for a pre-show off of that, so we're good.
All right. Something came across my across the wire earlier today, talking about how African American men um, were breaking for Donald Trump in ways that we hadn't seen before, and somebody did a study about you know it seemed as if the black men with low education and black men with high education seemed to break for Donald Trump in higher numbers than anyone would have previously considered. So,
Well, the MoFax Adam Curry theory is that that we're heading to a point where the Republican Party is going to be the party of men in general, white and black, while the Democrat Party is going to be the party of women. And their reasoning is and they have they back it up with they have good reasoning for backing it up, but it's like black women, there's like a well, first in general, there's been a split, like they're trying to split men and women, period. But black men and black women, well, there's been, and again, and that's probably one of the worst examples of this institutional racism is, the no man in the house law back in the day. But but even today, it's just like they're just trying to drive a wedge between black men and black women, and I don't know. You even we looked at like even the Black Lives Matter organization. It's run by, I'm sorry, but 3 black lesbians, and they're is it okay?
I think three black women. I think two of which are lesbians.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
they could all be for. I mean,
but their agenda is not for the is not for the black man.
Oh no.
They'll gladly use the black man to get what they want, but it's not for the black man.
Preference on a non-living, non-breathing one there. Yeah. Terrible. Awful.
Anyway, I feel like we really digressed. Where was I even going with that thought? I think I interrupted you. You was getting ready to make a point.
If it was a great point, it was like a fart in the wind. It's gone. But I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah. So what was it? Party of the no man in the house law, was that it?
The no man in the house rule, and that was specifically for receipt of public housing.
Right.
But I think that might be a little overstated, the idea that the Republican Party becoming more for men in general. I think the Republican Party has always been a party for white men. I think the Republican Party under Donald Trump would start bringing in more, black men and Latinos and men in general. But yeah, I am curious as to what the Republican Party will look like after Donald Trump is off the stage, because, he's like, in his one term, he's kind of like, he's Reagan-esque, minus the 2 terms if things don't go his way. I mean, literally, there's the party before Donald Trump and the party after Donald Trump, they're not going to be the same party. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think basically because Republicans don't have backbones, I think they'll like if it ends up that if Biden ends up winning this, I think the Republicans are going to try to
Barry.
pretend that Donald Trump never happened, and they'll gladly go back um, to their spineless ways.
Did you?
And they'll end up losing again because I think Trump showed what you can do when you stand up to the bullies.
Yeah, but once again, Trump once again is in that category of people who were not cancelable.
Right.
If you're a mainstream politician, you're eminently cancelable. Does that make sense?
It does, but you know what? What's their goal now? This is a rhetorical question, but
Who is
is
that?
it to they, the politicians? Is their goal to represent the people that they come from, or is it to enrich themselves with power and money?
Well, I mean, if I were a betting man, I'd go with the latter and not the former.
Yeah, that's why I refer to them, all politicians, as our rulers, because they really couldn't give two shits about us. They want our vote every 4 to 6 years. Other than that, give us your money, but leave us alone, and don't even think about us having to answer to you for anything.
You know what will change that?
Do I know? Well, I could think of a lot of things to change that. But
I've got one simple one.
what do you got?
Draft. If there was a draft, so the next time we want to go to war, if friggin' Nancy Pelosi's grandson and granddaughter were on the fighting lines, on the firing line with you and I think we'd. I think that would clear up a lot of what else.
Well, yeah. I think there's. I don't think we've always known, but I don't think there's any way, especially these past 4 years, it's been made blatantly obvious that there's two sets of rules, one for them and one for us, and just eliminating that and is yeah. I mean, I think like they should be things like they should be subject to the same health care that they want to put on us. I mean, there's just get rid of everything that makes them that treats them different than us. Yeah.
What do you think about term limits?
That's my number one thing, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's a terrible idea.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see what the downside to it would be.
Downside is that if you have a fresh crop of newly minted rookie politicians coming in every 8 or so years, I think then those I think that the special interest, the lobbyists, which basically will be made up of former politicians, will gain more control. That and if I want to. I do believe if I want to vote and send this guy back to Washington every 2, 4, or 6 years, that's my right.
So that's how you end up with career politicians who have no real world experience. They just it's a bad idea.
I mean, and
it was never, and a politician was never meant to be a career.
Well, Well, I mean, no, the career politician who graduates from college and then runs for office, there's probably one of there are those guys, but the average person does have, they were a business person before, they were a doctor, they ran a business, so I don't, the career politician, who, that's all he's ever done, I don't buy that.
Really?
No, like I said, I'm sure there are some out there, but I don't think the places, I don't think the halls of Congress are overflowing with them.
I don't think anyone needs to be there more than 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, so like less than two terms in the Senate.
I got 12 years.
Fair enough. How are we looking on time?
Yeah, we're doing good. We probably ought to wrap things up here, and I gotta. So this week said this week in skullduggery.
Something skullduggerous.
I love skullduggerous is going on here. This is great. Will we as a country ever get tired of making fun of Florida? Probably not.
Yeah, they deserve it. I mean, they get the weather,
Yeah, that's true. I'm tired of hearing, oh, it was 70 today. I had to put on a jacket.
F you.
Exactly. All right, a polyamorous Florida woman with 4 boyfriends is pregnant.
Surprise! Shocking.
Who's your daddy? A polyamorous woman in Florida with 4 partners is pregnant and says despite sharing her bed with her many lovers, she's certain of who the father is. Oh. Tori Ojeda, 20, lives with 3
Losers
of her 4 partner in Jacksonville, Florida. Mark, Travis, Ethan, and Christopher take turns spending time. Wow, this isn't just this is an arrangement.
It's like brother husbands.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm more intrigued now. They take turns spending time with Ojeda, swapping in and out of her bed each night. She tells Barcroft Media.
Makes me want to vomit.
The household's love story began 3 years ago when Ojeda met Mark, 18, in high school. 2 months later, she opened things up with Travis, 23, to whom she is now engaged. Later, she brought Ethan, 22, and Christopher, 22, into the fold. And despite her plans to get married to Travis, Ojeda said he's not the father of her baby girl, due in February. Chris is the biological father, she says. We just know that because of timing and when the approximate conception date was. Based off the approximate conception day, we had been on vacation, so it was only us.
Yeah, like, could you imagine? I mean, under what circumstances could you imagine, like, your wife saying, or your girlfriend, like, you know what? I love you, baby, but I want to. I want to bring another guy. This is really.
Say what now?
Yeah, I just.
Whoa, baby! Wait, baby! I misheard you. What was that?
Another man, an extra Johnson. Hello?
I can't think of who the comedian was, but he was like, "My fantasies have a one dick only policy, and it's mine."
I think that was Chappelle.
Was that Chappelle?
I think that was Chappelle. Yeah, yeah, that was Chappelle.
No, of course it was. He's one of the greats. Yeah, this.
Like
I don't know, dude.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you see the guys and you're like, man, like these are the type of guys who, snap and end up like murder suiciding. Yeah, like if
I could see that.
like this guy's gonna look up and gonna realize it's not my kid. She got with the pool boy while we were on vacation, and terrible.
And then there's the matter of sharing. Ojeda says it gets pretty exhausting having to please 4 different men under the same roof.
I think I need a shower just hearing that.
She's actually encouraged her boyfriends to pursue other love interests. This real-life throuple are former evangelical Christians.
I mean, you see the picture of those guys? Do they look like they have souls?
I haven't looked. I didn't see the pictures of them, but I'll look it up real quick here because I am curious as to what these cats look like.
I just can't imagine. Like, you know what? Like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, I mean, you said they don't live together, right?
No, it said that they did.
So they're all in the same house, and so like, oh yeah.
What is? I don't think these. Are you looking at this on the New York Post?
Let me pull it up.
Tori and Jade had 4 boyfriends in the night. Yeah, see, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to maybe piss people off, but at least Christopher here, he's just looks like a soy boy.
Soy boy. Actually, that soy boy, that was one of the conspiracy theories that was mentioned in the conspiracy theory chart I told you about.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but they're real. Conspiracy busted.
Okay, are you looking at the pink shirt and blue?
Oh my God! Now I got the videos playing. I have the sound off, but all of these guys are soy boys. No wonder they're. And who? This is just pathetic, man.
Now, mind you, if it was a guy with four women.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? No. No,
but I mean, it seemed like she's being celebrated by the article.
Oh, is it?
I mean, that's.
I can see. Yeah, she's definitely not being.
I mean, okay.
Derided.
Better, yeah. Is she being shamed? Let's see here. A polyamorous woman in Florida with 4 partners is pregnant. Says, despite sharing a bed with 4. Her many lovers, she's certain who the father is, blah, 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 lived free, blah, 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 household story, da, da, da. Yeah, she's definitely not being derided for being an animal.
Now here's just an observation, and I'll just say this, but it's interesting. Except for one of those men, she is, we'll say, a little overweight.
She's a cow. Sorry.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Brian, let the record reflect that Brian showed discretion in class, and we'll just leave it there.
But I love how at least two of these guys are like ridiculously skinny, and then 2 of them are kind of just slovenly out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a looking at him. I don't know, man. It's a.
Does she have an Octomob vibe about her?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know, man. It's a. See, I can look right now. Just looking at these 4 guys, they all look like losers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
And especially that dude sitting there in between them with the sweatpants on. He's just kind of like, at least he looks like he's humiliated.
oh yeah, like I said earlier, I don't see how these guys could allow a picture to be taken with them without a paper bag on their face. I mean, and the thing is, yeah, they're all like smiling and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep an eye out. Yeah, one of those guys is axe murderer in the making.
For sure. All right, Joe.
Not that we're wishing that on anybody.
No.
It's just in the awning.
It's just, yeah. So, all right, Joe, we're here once again at the end.
Not the end.
We are. People who are still with us, thank you. Thank you for being here.
We appreciate you.
We're going to let you in on a little secret. Don't tell the others, but if you are back here 7 days from now at this roughly the same time, same place, we're going to do this all over again. You thought if us ending this show now makes you sad because of how much fun you've had, don't worry, we're coming back. 7 days.
In other words, put the knife down. There's no need to cut down the the vein. Put the rope away. Put the gun down.
Away.
We'll be back.
We will be back.
Just for you.
Just for you. We love you. We love you. There's people that just listen to the first 5 minutes and are like, "Fuck this." We don't love them.
Yeah, F those guys.
We love you for listening.
And you guys are the true believers.
Yes. And on that note, Joe, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Always.
And until next time, take care.
You too. Bye-bye.